Hi, guys, and welcome to the Horror Room. So, a quick update before we begin this little midweek haul like we usually do. We're getting closer to 100 subscribers, which is pretty cool. I don't remember if my other channel that I started had 100 or if it surpassed it. Um, but I thought I would do something kind of special if we reach the 100 subscriber mark. I will have a poll for that, and there'll be some options, but I'm going to keep it a little hush hush till then. So if you want to see that video, make sure you share this page with your friends. Um, if they like horror, I mean, hey, what's not to love? So I'll show them some cool stuff, and you can say, hey, I helped out. But anyways, with all that junk out of the way, let's look at some good stuff. Um, we're gonna switch it up. Normally, I do the DVDs and stuff last, but I got some really cool tapes to show off, so I wanted to save those. So we'll start with the DVDs. First off, I got The Witch or The Vivitch. I if you want to say it that way. It was only $1, and it was still sealed, and I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty cool. So I said, you know what, for $1, you can't beat that. And it's a horror movie I didn't have. It's by Robert Eggers. I believe he made the Lighthouse movie as well, which I see that getting thrown into the horror category as well. Some of the places I shop at, I've seen it in the horror section. I'm like, it's not a horror movie. It's more like a drama or a weird movie, kind of like Eraserhead. I mean, I got Eraserhead in here. I mean, I guess I can't talk, but I don't know. I don't think of the Lighthouse as a horror movie. I guess it's a claustrophobic movie, that's for sure. But this movie, it was a horror movie. Um, Next, I found another Blue Underground movie, which I didn't have, and part of a series that I didn't have. And it's from the Blind Dead collection. It's called Tombs of the Blind Dead. Now, funny story, years ago, I did find Night of the Seagulls, which I can't remember which one that is or if that's the actual title, which it's a weird fucking title for a Blind Dead movie. And I found it on VHS, of all things, for like next to nothing. And I thought it was boring. I don't know what was wrong with me. I need to give it another watch, but I do know that these are kind of slow burn movies, and they're kind of my traditional zombie style movies, so you'd think I'd love them because I do love me a slow moving zombie. So my plan is to get all the Tombs of the Blind Dead movies and give it another shot because I think I was a little harsh. And maybe I watched it out of order. I don't know which one's the first one, honestly. Um, there is a box set that looks like a coffin, and it's got all of them in there. And I saw it a while back at the place where I usually get my movies, and it was like 70 or $80. And damn it, that sounded too high for me, but I should have snagged it right then and there because it's gone way up in recent years. Um, Now, whether that has to do with it being a Blue Underground release, I have no clue. Um, but you do know I am a sucker for some Blue Underground movies. Maybe I'll do a collection video of those one day because I do have quite a bit. Um, and speaking of quite a bit, not really, but I am getting there. I've started to like this company, Visual Vengeance. Uh, I did get their release of Abomination, which is an early '90s shot on video or shot on shittio movie, and it's cheap, it's charming. I like it. I like things like that, video violence, Wood Chipper Massacre, and this one I hadn't gotten and I hadn't seen. And then a friend of mine, we were having like a little romp on YouTube and Tubi, just looking at random things from different movies. And we watched some clips from this movie, and I said, you know what? Why don't I own this movie? It's so ridiculous. The Necro Files. Now I'm going to try to word this in a way that YouTube isn't going to butcher this video, but it stars a zombie uh, SOSA person who goes around doing terrible things to ladies. And he is murdered and turned into a zombie by a couple of cops, and one of them turns into like a crazy, crooked cop. It's pretty funny, pretty amusing. And then the baby of the lady gets sacrificed and comes back as a zombie baby, and it's literally just a floating baby doll on a string, and goes after the zombie guy. It's ridiculous, but it's hilarious. It's definitely one of those movies that you can tell they were trying to be super offensive and edgy, but it just comes off as pretty comical, honestly, and just kind of silly. And that's why I love it. But when I went on their site, because I noticed they were doing a sale, and I was like, ooh, I gotta get that movie while it's on sale, I found another one that I've never heard of. It's called The Despiser, or Despiser, just Despiser. Um, and I just want to read you the premise of this movie on the back, because I watched the trailer, and the trailer doesn't really do it justice, but this description really sold it for me. Um, and I bought it on a whim. I was like, you know what? I've never heard of it. It looks pretty goofy. Why not? Let's see what. And I like the artwork. And I bought it for another reason too, which I'll share in just a second. But okay, so the back, it says, after losing his job and his wife, Gordon crashes his car and lands in purgatory, where he's attacked by fanatics and enslaved souls. He's soon saved by a quirky band of freedom fighters from different historical eras, all of whom died in noble sacrifice. Reluctantly joining their cause, Gordon embarks on a wild adventure through surreal, hellish landscapes to battle the Despiser, the malevolent ruler of the realm, facing shifting realities, monstrous creatures, and intense car chases over lava oceans. Their journey leads to the ultimate showdown to save all of humanity. Come on. That sounds fantastic. And also on the disc, let me just pull it. Oh, and look at this. I love when companies do alternate artwork. Side tangent rant. Uh, I usually throw slipcovers away. I know that's pretty blasphemous. Unless it's for a boutique label like Shout Factory. Usually, if it's the exact same on the front and the back, I don't want that. I'd rather it have different artwork, and this one does. It also has, reversible artwork for the original, the way it looked on home video. So it's technically got three different covers. But then you have the disc, which has Trolls, the old 80s troll toys on it. Both movies come with posters, which is great. And of course, I gave the Necrophiles poster to my friend because I was like, hey, you got to keep this. It'll remind you of that funny night we had. And they also, all their videos come with these stickers that you can use to put on your VHS or DVDs if you want. Hell, I'd put a few on a Blu-ray or two. And yeah, they're just like fun little things that you'd see at like your mom and pop shop, and they would stick them on the movies just for like, 3-day rental or 18 up, stuff like that. So I thought that's kind of cool. So now that we have moved on from these, let's get to the good stuff, because I've got some tapes. The VHS Fest is still about a month away, and I made the bingo card, which I haven't shown you guys. I'll probably throw that on a post if I can remember, just to show you the progress that I've made, because I've been cheating. I've been buying tapes from the bingo list. But some of them I found so cheap, it'd be like, I'd be stupid not to get it now and risk, waiting to go in the convention where they're probably going to be more. But first off, I got a Clive Barker movie, Lord of Illusions. I randomly saw a post about this, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a movie. I forgot about that one. And I do like me some Clive Barker. I got Nightbreed, I got Hellraiser, I even got Rawhead Rex, which I wasn't a big fan of that movie, but the artwork on it, and I technically got it for free doing some trade-ins. So I was like, hey, why not? Let's add another one to the list. And I've heard good things about this. I decided to get on VHS. I mean, I could have gotten it on DVD, but it was practically free. It was like $6, which for a horror movie on VHS, is like insanely cheap. So yeah, I'm excited to watch this movie eventually. It looks good. Next up, I got another Stephen King movie. I had it already on DVD, and I showed you guys the cover. The cover sucks. I bought it because I was like, hey, I want to watch this movie. But this is the cover that I remember for Graveyard Shift. This is really eye catching on the shelf. You got the bloody miner's helmet on the skeleton. And it's a very misleading cover. If you don't know what this movie is about, spoiler, it's about a giant vampire bat. And it's got Brad Dourif in it, and it's got Brad Dourif in it. A bunch of other people in there. You'd recognize him if you saw him. But yeah, it's one of the better ones. It doesn't get talked about enough, and it looks, look how clean this is. It was actually still sealed in some plastic. I took that shit off. I'm watching this. I'm not keeping it sealed so it can get moldy and nasty. And that's the other thing is like it's in perfect condition. So thank you whoever kept it sealed so I could open it and destroy that. Next, here's another one that I had on my list, and I had the alternate cover because I figured there ain't no way I'm gonna find the original release. But lo and behold, I found the original release of An American Werewolf in London, the Vestron video release. Now, you're probably saying, what the hell's the difference? There isn't one. The other one, though, it shows the werewolf, and I think that's kind of bullshit. This one just shows the guys, and it does show kind of a mid-transformation sequence on the back, but that's it. It's like, hey, you want to find out why there's a werewolf in London, or what he looks like? You gotta watch the movie. And granted, the other cover doesn't spoil the wolf completely, but it's just, I don't know. This one is just so simple, but it catches your eye. And now I have both of them, so I can watch them back to back. And I know the second movie always gets like shit on, but I like that one. It's a little more funny, kind of like how House 1 and House 2. House 2 is the more comical one. House 1 had its moments, but it was more horror. And speaking of House 1, we got the witch on this cover for Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors. It's got the witch from House. It's got, I think that's Elvira. I guess. Elvira doesn't have lip piercings. Maybe that's a different character. I don't know. Maybe the chick from Return of the Living Dead 3, but I don't know. It doesn't look like her to me. And then you got Freddy, and then you got a troll from the movie Troll, the first one, which is an odd choice, but okay. Says, here is an engaging offbeat look at the horror industry's biggest event, the annual Fangoria National Convention. You'll see the talented stars and definitive artists who have contributed to some of horror's genre's greatest works. My bad. Robert Englund, Rick Baker, Toby Hooper, and many other legendary guests appear, interspersed with clips from their best-known films, and you'll see the attending horror fans who have come to celebrate, fully costumed in all their gory glory. It's a monster bash, it's an absolute scream, it's Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors. So this is kind of like a time capsule of, the highlight of Fangoria in the 80s. And I was like, this is going to be a really fun watch. And it's also got the top and bottom flaps still intact, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's in a little bit of rough condition, but this is kind of like a once in a lifetime glimpse into the roots of horror conventions, because I'm pretty sure Fangoria was responsible for holding some of the first conventions. So this is going to be really awesome to watch and kind of be like, man, what would it have been like to be there in the 80s at the peak of horror at a convention meeting Rick Baker or Toby Hooper? Like, that's insane. So yeah, that's going to be a fun watch. And last but not least, I found another copy of Class Reunion Massacre, aka The Redeemer, Son of Satan. Now, at first glance, I kind of said, this looks a little fake. So I looked at the pictures, I did my due diligence, I looked at the tape, and I said, you know what, if this is a fake, it's a pretty damn good one, but I'm like 100% certain it's not a fake. If someone out there knows it's a fake, feel free to correct me, but it's basically the DVD cover, which I have the DVD, and then I've got all my alternate ones. Like, let me see if I can grab the Genesis one right here. Um, yeah, the Redeemer. See, so I have both versions of Class Reunion Massacre, the regular box and the big box, but I didn't have two versions of the VHS for the Redeemer, which I think is kind of cool. Um, I should probably get a protector for this one too, but it is in kind of rough, a little bit of sun damage shape. Um, Now, where this one was pretty clean, and obviously I stuck that in the protector. Um, this one, it's seen its share of love, but it's not super sun faded. But um, obviously the sides are the roughest part. You got this sticker right here, which I'm probably gonna use one of those stickers from the DVD for that, just to add some little extra flair. Um, and I also thought it was interesting. The screenshots on the back, they have the Reaper mask, which I recently found out is just a Don Post skeleton mask from Halloween 3. So big thanks to the person who actually helped me figure out that what that mask is called and a couple of the other things in the movie I was curious about. But we'll have that discussion when I actually finally talk about this movie, because that's going to be a whole video eventually. But they also include one of the deaths or kills on the back, but it's kind of like censored. It's like red, which is weird. Like, I don't know, maybe it was something with the distributors. Like, they were like, oh, well, we'll put your movie out, but you can't show blood on the back. I guess. Like, but there's so many horror movies that have way worse imagery. Driller Killer, I'm looking at you front and center. Um, so, yeah, I found that movie and I was super excited. I had to snag it. As far as I know, I have all the versions except for like a Blu-ray release, or hopefully one day a like proper 4K boutique label with like alternate art. I doubt it because it's such an obscure title. It's actually one you could probably watch on YouTube right now. Just look up Redeemer, Son of Satan, or Class Reunion Massacre. I'm fairly certain it's still floating around on there till somebody maybe grabs the rights. But yeah, so there you have it. There's my little midweek update. It's a little longer than usual, but I had some talking points that I wanted to address. And like I said, if I can remember, I'm going to put that poll when it gets closer. I want to say when I get like 90 subscribers, I'll put that poll up, and I'm going to remind you guys when I do, so that way you can vote on the idea that I have for my 100 subscribers special. So hopefully that'll be happening soon. Other than that, stay tuned for the video coming Sunday. See ya.